I love the space of the sky and am very interested in ways that we can communicate through the clouds, through light, air, and the beautiful transience of that expression. I also like the connection that these older forms of communication have, back to smoke signals, log drums, ways of communicating across distance. The project was called Messages of Hope, Messages of Love, and it was a public artwork presented at the Art Gallery of New South Wales here in Sydney. And the project was conceived as a way of allowing the public to communicate across distance, physically and virtually, during these times of social distancing where friends, family, lovers are not necessarily able to be in the same space together. So we really wanted to create a project that would allow people to communicate via the sky and via the live stream their feelings of hope and love for each other. The project was conceived as a response to COVID. We came up with the idea in the sort of depths of the lockdown here in Sydney. We approached the Art Gallery of New South Wales to host the project, and amazingly they said yes. The turnaround for the project was incredibly fast. It was the equivalent of 24 hours between pitching it and submitting our grant to the City of Sydney. So all the puzzle pieces fell into place very quickly. And the process that we went through, we put out an open call to the general public to submit their messages via the project website. And then I had the really amazing privilege of arranging those messages into a collective poem. We had to work through a lot of details about how the Morse code would come out of that poem into the real world. So there was a cap on characters, for example. So we had a 50-character cap because Morse code is quite a lengthy process. So each message was allocated a 2-minute time slot, and in between messages we added a light animation. There was a total of 360 messages posted, 120 each evening. I had an amazing team of people working with me from, the back end of the website was just a joy to work with, and that's something the general public's never going to see. There weren't any technical hitches that we encountered, but of course the weather is not something we can control. And we always knew that would be the case. I guess the mood of the project changed over the evenings that it was presented. On our tech run we had amazing clear skies and incredible visibility. Each evening was slightly different, but on Sunday it rained, but that meant there were rainbows in the lights, which was beautiful. It was really important that the project had a physical presence as well as a digital presence. I guess my background's in installation, I really wanted to create a physical artwork that people could see in a socially distanced way. So the lights were visible as far as Artarmon here in Sydney, down to Earlwood, so 5 to 7 k's away. It was a love letter to Sydney so that the audience here in Sydney would be able to see it potentially from their homes. And an important part of that also for me was that the live stream provided a way of people accessing the content of the messages. So the live stream had the subtitle of each message. And because the messages were scheduled in advance, we could let people know when their message would appear on screen. So they could also tell their loved ones in the UK or wherever they were watching, hey, tune in at this time and there's a message there for you. Everybody really responded in very heartfelt and generous, honest ways to that call of send us your message of hope or love. So there was quite a few messages for family members interstate or overseas. We got several messages from people living in other countries who wanted to send their love to people here in Sydney. There was a marriage proposal, so that's totally amazing. And it's really heart-wrenching messages like, we believe you can get over your cancer, Dad. But one of my favourite messages was, let's all form an arm link chain for dancing and fun. I thought that was lovely. Social media became a really nice way of connecting with audiences also, because people posted their experience of the project. There were lots of like, oh my God, that's what we saw in the sky on Saturday night, and hey friend, check out this over here, this is what we saw. Also people sharing their experience of the project. Lots of gratitude and people saying, thank you so much. This is the message we need in these times. So the project was, very sort of feel-good, sort of cheesy or cutesy, but I think that's exactly what we need in this moment, and that's one of the lovely things I think art can provide, is that sense of joy and hope and love. We really wanted people to reconnect, I guess, with those feelings of hope and love for humanity and the world around us, and project that into the night sky. So this artwork also connects to a trajectory of my practice. In the past I've worked with steam and mist with the idea that the water has a memory and a story of where it's been before, and so in this case the light is travelling out into space. A lot of my projects have a relationship with the sky, with the stars, and I love the idea that the light from these messages is travelling out into the universe forever.